Seen and addressed now as a quintessential figure of R&B, MaryJBlige has churned out well-praised records from the early 1990s to the present day. Her distinctive formula of polished R&B vocals over an exciting, pulsating, and often fierce hip-hop instrumentation is a combination that MaryJBlige was one of the first to establish. Undoubtedly, her musical approach was a vital landmark in the perception of R&B and hip-hop genres, creatively demonstrating the use of sampling and production experimentation. However, potentially more significantly, MaryJBlige brought Black womanhood to the forefront of mainstream media and radio play within a genre that was and continues to be dominated by men. Her discography has become a narrative to the real experience of being a Black woman, both working in the music industry and living in America. Whilst Blige retains a legacy so powerful that one would struggle to see beyond what came before her, her beginnings were extremely humble. Born in the beginning of 1971, Mary Jane Blige was born in New York before spending time in Savannah, Georgia, and finally moving to a housing project back in New York. Much of the geographical instability came from her abusive father who, suffering from PTSD brought on by serving in the Vietnam War, was a violent man towards Blige's mother. Their final move in her childhood was brought on by her parents divorcing, but unfortunately did not offer the security or closure her mother intended. Enduring sexual assault from a very young age, the housing project was not a safe, nurturing space for herself or any of her siblings. The treatment and depiction of women at this time in her life contrast so vividly to how she would later present herself. Music became a solace for Blige. Singing at her local church gave her the escapism and positivity that home life could not. However, in the rocky teenage years, the likes of drugs and sex began to take over MaryJBlige's life. In interviews, she has noted that the extremities to which she would partake in these activities were used as a way to cope with the trauma of her childhood. This led to her dropping out of high school. Nonetheless, Blige was taken back by the power and enjoyment of music when she visited the local karaoke machine. Recording a rendition of Caught Up in the Rapture by Anita Baker, it was not long before her talent was recognized and demanded by record labels. Signed to Uptown Records, MaryJBlige's debut album, What's the 411, was released in 1991 to rave reviews who noted her R&B soul infusion as its highlight. The album was a huge success commercially too, stacking up over 3 million sales by the year 2000. Its leading single, You Remind Me, is a dreamy retelling of an encounter with a love interest who feels familiar in the way they walk, talk, and dress. Accompanying perfectly with the sweet lyricism is an easy rhythm which steadily flows through Blige's dreamscape. Whilst another single, Real Love, is an up-tempo track with melodic keys and playful anthemic vocals, which display Blige's range. Similarly, Real Love is a love song, but is focused on the hopeful potential of real love. It is grounded in reality, but full of joy. Both the tracks demonstrate MaryJBlige's thoughts and experiences as a young woman by transforming such universal thoughts into a soulful body of work. The realness of What's the 411 established the tone of much of Blige's future work to come. MaryJBlige followed up her debut 2 years later with My Life, containing even more personal material than her first, due to My Life being co-written by Blige herself. The album is somber in her tone. Its lead single, Be Happy, pleads for a happy life and a pure love, both of which she is yet to find. Singing, Oh, I cannot hide the way I feel inside. No, I don't know why. I don't know why, but every day I want to cry. Every day I want to cry. Layers of Blige's vocals repeat the yearning as a funky bass bounces along. Suffering from depression and drug abuse, Blige found her name across mainstream media reports. Those she was surrounded with only fueled her destructive habits and behaviors further, profiting off of them. After experiencing mental turmoil and mistreatment from others, MaryJBlige decided to take grips of her own life and release her third album, Share My World. The 1997 R&B record marked several professional changes too, moving from Uptown to MCA and the absence of Puff Daddy as a producer. Yet despite many odds, the rebirth of Blige through Share My World was a welcome one for both fans and critics. Her voice embodies confidence and expression and control, allowing her vocals to engage fully with the lyrics and complement the pristine production quality. It demonstrates a perfect balance in the unity of each musical component, resulting in a fully crafted third album. In terms of her discography, Blige followed her early album successes with a myriad of music releases. Mary, in 1999, introduced adult contemporary style, whilst The Breakthrough in 2005 brought soulful sentimentality to the forefront of the charts. From 1999 onwards, MaryJBlige has released 10 studio albums, bringing her total to 13. Busying herself with the world of collaborations, live performances, samples, and award ceremonies, she has a definite household name by the time of the millennium, and she was barely 30 years old. She has since won 9 Grammy Awards and sold over 50 million copies worldwide. Some of Blige's efforts outside her discography have further garnered success and celebration. Covers of Faith Evans' Every Day It Rains and Aretha Franklin's You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman brought to life on-screen stories. Her tour alongside Jay-Z, Heart of the City Tour, became the most successful tour involving a female-male artist collaboration. MaryJBlige brings her skill and dedication to each involvement. Aside from her well-known musical career, MaryJBlige debuted her acting career in 1998 alongside Jamie Foxx in The Jamie Foxx Show, whilst her first venture onto the silver screen was in a part for the 2001 film Prison Song. Some of Blige's most notable contributions have been for Rock of Ages in 2012 and Mudbound in 2017, the latter of which brought many nominations from the likes of the Golden Globes and the Screen Actors Guild. Entering into her 4th decade in the music industry, MaryJBlige continues to create, collaborate, and feature on many creative projects, making her integral to the cultural and artistic landscape today. Her recent work with rapper Nas led to a 2019 tour and the most recent single, Thriving. In the world of cinema, she appeared as a lead role in the police horror film Body Cam. MaryJBlige continues to serve as a queen of R&B, whilst embarking on many other adventures too. Her persona has developed greatly from humble beginnings to a self-made figure of creative success. You can check out the card leave of Spotify to listen to the original tracks of the artist. It's a curated playlist with the most popular songs.